computer. Okay.
I see it.
I do too. Hey.
Welcome to the Sleepless Astrologer for Capricorn 2018 year-end review. I am Vickie. That is Kristin.
Hey.
And we are going to rock your year with information so you are prepared for horrible things like this horrible Mercury retrograde that won't end.
We'll be over before January 10th. It'll be over. Really. It's a part of 2018 anyway.
Never ends.
All right, sucks. I'm eating chocolate while we're talking, just so you know.
I have a Pepsi.
And I have wine.
Oh,
so
there
we're good.
We're great. Fun stuff. I have bullshit over here. I have like water and Pepsi. Now I feel deprived.
Pepsi's no good. You should give up that stuff.
I know. So Capricorns, do you want to know what you're like? What should we tell them? Little social climbers.
Social climbers. Well, yeah, but they're climbers on every level, right? I mean, they always
they're little goats.
Reach the top, no matter what they do.
Yep.
And much to my chagrin, they age backwards.
I was just going to say that. Little bastards.
I've never met a Capricorn who looked bad as an adult, like as an older person. They always have like good skin. They don't like slouch over. They're very
they're usually skinny.
Yeah, a lot, especially Capricorn rising people tend to be thin.
You little bastards.
Not me. I'm not rising, but I have it in my first.
I have Saturn rising.
Well, there you go. You're skinny.
Yeah, but I was also a distressed birth.
Oh, from the Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So yeah, Saturn rising. If you happen to have a Capricorn rising or Saturn rising, you may have been a distressed birth. Ask your mama.
Interesting.
She might be bitter about it.
What about Jupiter rising? And I know that's not Capricorn related.
I don't know. I think that would be easy.
I don't know.
You should ask your mama.
I don't think it was easy for my mom. She said that I was induced.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're just taking your time with your Cancer. You're like, I'm not coming out.
I was supposed to be a Leo, actually, I think.
Oh, I was supposed to be an Aries.
Ooh, you would have been interesting as an Aries.
Oh, I bet I would.
You'd have been
I would be like that
meaner.
Picture.
You'd be mean.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine?
Oh my God. All right, Capricorns.
Yes.
So Capricorn is the goat. They're ruled by Saturn. They are, or you are. Status seeking. Their keywords are I use. So if it's not useful to you, then Capricorns in general have very little to do with something, right?
I would assume so, yeah.
Yeah.
They are hardworking little effers.
Extremely hardworking, very status conscious.
Goal seeking.
They want, impressive houses and impressive wives or husbands, jobs. They're dominant in nature, very dominant people. They're the dads of the zodiac. They're very sarcastic. Their wit is very sarcastic.
And to trickle back to what Kristin said, they do represent the father.
Yeah. They're totally they'll take care of you, but in like a stern way.
Yep.
They're not nurturing.
And Saturn represents the teacher. So I guess, would you say that Capricorn represents the teacher as well?
No, usually Jupiter. I would say more Sagittarians.
Yeah.
I think that they're the disciplinarian.
Yeah.
I think that they teach lessons.
Yes, they do.
So you had some famous Capricorns on your list. Who do you have?
I do. I have my husband.
He's famous.
100 planets in Capricorn. We have, this is a long list, so I'll go through it quickly. Muhammad Ali, Martin Luther King Jr., Elvis, Beyonce's daughter, LeBron James, Nina Dobrev.
Who's that?
She was in Degrassi, and then she was in the Vampire Diaries. So she.
Oh, who was she in Vampire Diaries?
She's the girl with the long brown curly hair. I
can't think of it.
She's like the lead character.
Was she the one with the doppelganger?
I did not watch the show.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
It was such a good show. That's the only reason I know that word, doppelganger.
Oh.
You know what that means?
Someone's lookalike?
Yeah, you're double.
No, I don't have that. There's an 11-year-old high fashion model named Christine Pimenova that's a Capricorn. Pitbull, Liam Hemsworth, who is also listed as a Virgo, so I don't know. Aaliyah, who is the singer that died in the 90s in a plane crash. Kate Spade, Holly Madison, who, if anybody watched The Girls Next Door, was Puffin, the one that wanted to marry Hugh Hefner, but she wanted babies and he didn't, so he said nay, nay, and she left. Justin Trudeau, the hot young Prime Minister of Canada. Stephen Hawking, Eli Manning, Isaac Newton, Benjamin Franklin, David Bowie, which is a perfect example of a Capricorn aging backwards. Richard Nixon, Kim Jong-un, which is not good, Al Capone, Yolanda Foster for Real Housewives fans, Dolly Parton, and Betty White.
Oh, right. So we had said those two looked so young. That was really...
Dolly Parton, definitely.
And Betty White never looked like she when she was like 95, she looked like she was 60.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And she's still witty as hell.
I wonder what her rising sign was.
I'd love to know. Let's put a star by her. Let's do that chart.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Okay.
Yeah, this total example of the witty, sarcastic humor, though, in those two last women.
And Pitbull is a pretty good example of that status thing.
Is he? I don't know
yeah.
much. I'm not great on the full star thing. I don't really follow that very well.
Yeah, I just like drop it to the floor from like 7 years ago. I just can't get this song out of my head. And Kate Spade, status. Holly Madison, status. Justin Trudeau, goal-seeking. Hardworking. David Bowie, goal-seeking. Richard Nixon, goal-seeking. Kim Jong-un, goal-seeking. Al Capone.
Kind of a lot of badasses there, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yolanda Foster, if you are familiar with her, looks unbelievable for her age and spat out two beautiful daughters that are high fashion models.
Oh, really? Oh, wait. I think did you send me something about her?
Actually, yeah. I was supposed to do Bella Hadid.
That was her mom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Got it. Interesting. So, do you want to go over the 2018 for Capricorns?
Yeah, let's put these guys out of their misery.
All right, let me share my screen and pull them up.
Caps, what do you think? Put your ideas in the comments if you have any specific questions.
Okay, this is June of 2018.
So we're looking in the middle of the year?
Yes, because I don't know how to pull up January. Well, can we do it from January, you think?
Yeah, let's try from January.
Okay. So, I mean, the biggest thing right now is Saturn in Capricorn. I mean, everybody... Yeah, but everyone's totally freaking out about Saturn being in Capricorn right now. All the Capricorns are like, thank God, Capricorn, Saturn is coming home and everything's going to be great in the world. Like they're totally, Capricorns are pretty excited about this. And actually a lot of astrologers in general are pretty excited about Saturn entering Capricorn. It hasn't been since 1988.
Why are they excited?
They're thinking that since Capricorn is at home, or Saturn is at home in Capricorn, that all of the things that people have been working towards are going to start, paying off, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is kind of what happens with Saturn returns in general for people. This isn't really a Saturn return. It's just that Saturn is going to be in its home sign. So it's going to be very comfy. Right?
Yeah, because Saturn returns generally suck.
They can be difficult for people. That's true. So if you're, 28 years old and you're a Capricorn and you go through a Saturn return with Saturn in Capricorn.
That'll be a lot of fun for you.
Yeah.
And by fun, we mean is...
I don't know. I feel like Saturn returns don't have to suck. So if you've worked really hard up until you're 28 years old or whatever, when you start hitting the Saturn return, depending on your chart, if you've worked hard and you've accomplished what you wanted to accomplish, like if you have made plans and followed through and worked hard, then Saturn return is going to be fairly easy. But if you've messed around, like let's say you went to high school and you went to college and then you partied for 8 years, then you're going to wake up at almost 30 and be like, oh my God, what do I want to do with my life? Why don't I have kids yet? What's the next?
Where's my money?
I'm living in my parents' basement still. And, and Saturn Return will kick your ass, because they're going to be like, yeah, you're going to be homeless soon and you didn't work hard. So everybody's going to leave you stranded.
The truth. She speaks the truth.
So, so anyway, back to just Saturn for Capricorns in general. Capricorns in general totally understand Saturn's nature because they live with it all the time. So Saturn being in your chart in entering right now in like around your sun, and it shouldn't affect you as much as it would affect somebody who wasn't familiar with Saturn nature. But Saturn is the disciplinarian in a chart, and it also kind of takes away from things of, so like if it hits your Saturn, if it hits your sun, a lot of people feel like depression, or they feel lonely, or they go through a kind of an identity crisis during that time. So Capricorns with Saturn hitting their sun in the next 2.5 years might experience some of these things. I would say that Capricorns in general probably don't, since they're such hard workers in general. They might be able to utilize that energy and being able to focus and really kind of buckle down to their goals. But it depends on the rest of their chart. So, but yeah, I've mentioned Pluto is also in Capricorn right now. And so Capricorns have been going through Pluto.
A rebirth of themselves. I mean, I've been watching it happen in front of me. So it's definitely a regeneration. So if you're a Capricorn that's been going through like not a life crisis, but like a life event where you're going to come out as a different person.
Yeah, you have no choice with Pluto. Like Pluto going through your sign. It's not like you can, with Saturn, you can control the energy that's happening because it is all about work and you kind of
you have
control
the free
that.
will.
But with Pluto, there's no chance. It is like, there's no hope. It'll change. Well, it'll change regardless what you do. So you just kind of have to understand that, and not many people go through Pluto going over their sun. I mean, Pluto takes a very long time. Was it 240 some years to go through a chart? 220 years? I can't remember exactly. But it's over 200 years to go.
I'm so glad I'll be dead by the time it gets to me.
So it takes a lot of time. So only a few signs are going to go through Pluto in their, over their sun in this lifetime. So Pluto in there, it's been in there for a while. It's going to be in there for a long time. So depending on when you were born.
It's time to be introspective. If you're thinking about going to see a therapist, do it while Pluto is there to help you change and make those adjustments.
Yeah, that's good advice. All right, what other things are Capricorns going to be going through?
Well, let's take a look here.
Looks like Uranus is at 1 Taurus, and so that's trining. So if you're going to have Uranus trining your sun at some point, possibly this year.
It can be a chaotic change. It can be a sudden change.
Well, at least it's a trine.
Something unexpected. Yeah, it doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah. Well, I think with Saturn, Pluto, and Uranus happening, these transits, it's going to be a sort of tumultuous year for Capricorns.
It's a big year for Capricorns.
Yeah.
Big year.
I agree. And we're going to, mid-year, Mars is going to be sitting on, well, that's Saturn for, if you're like mid-20s, you're going to have Mars sitting on your Saturn. So it's an amazing time for them to actually harness all the Saturn energy.
Yeah.
And Jupiter, how's that aspecting for them for the year?
Where is Jupiter? Oh, there's up in Scorpio still.
Yeah, Jupiter's in Scorpio. So
sextile.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot of stuff going on, but it's a lot of good stuff too.
Yeah,
Like
I
good
would say that
energy.
Capricorn's probably got it better than,
Sagittarians, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Sagittarians had a hard time this last few years,
yeah.
for sure.
But there's a lot of change, but it could be used for your benefit, and you can get to the top of that mountain. And if you work hard, you may not even have to work as hard as you think you do. Things might come a little easier to you, even with Saturn there, especially if you have Mars's energy to push you and Pluto's regenerative uh, tendencies. You may change careers. You may up and move out of the country. You may get married. You may start a family. You may got anything could happen really, but you are going to be a different person from what you are now. So get ready. Maybe think about changing your name.
Well, I think that's the Saturn energy right now for 2018 for them is, I mean, I think it's going to be more constructive than anything. And I think that's maybe why all of the Capricorns and all these astrology forums are excited about it. They're like, bring it. We're so excited. Could be because it's going to be in Capricorn. I mean, it's going to be in Capricorn until, well, probably 2021.
Yeah.
20, yeah, at some point. And then, you know, Saturn actually looks like it goes retrograde.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Retrograde means backwards, everyone.
Yes. If a planet is retrograde, it's going backwards. It goes forward until February. Let's see. Actually, it doesn't go retrograde until April. So you start out the year with Saturn right in the first 9 degrees. So that's like the first. So if you were born between what, Vickie?
90, 95?
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about like, okay, so if they're born at the end of November through about the 7th, that's the first third of the month, right? Or the sign. So you're going to have Saturn going back and forth over your sun for almost the first half of, at least half of the year. So I would say the early Capricorns, those who were born, between, I'm sorry. So it's December. So it's the end of December. Got my, so like the 21st till January 7th or so, you're going to be having Saturn going back over and forth over your sun. Yeah. And in fact, the entire 2018, it's going to be in the first third of Capricorn.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
wow.
It's people who were born later in the Capricorn, so like mid to end of January, or until the 21st-ish of January, they aren't going to be having their Saturn hitting their sun. It's simply going to be the first third of Capricorns who are going to have that. Oh, when is he born?
7th.
Okay, so he's going to be feeling it.
Yeah.
So he's going to be feeling it once it hits.
But he's
like
changing his job. My husband, who has 100 planets in Capricorn, is actually going through that Pluto transformation because it went over most of his planets, and he is changing careers. And he'll have Saturn, I think, starting in, I think his moon or Mercury, and he's going to become a stockbroker, like this year.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like a good time to do it.
And he doesn't even know that this is happening.
He doesn't?
No, I mean, I tried to explain it to him, and he's like, I don't get it.
Oh, you mean, I thought you meant about being a stockbroker.
No, he knows that.
I'm like, oh, you haven't told me yet?
By the way, you're going to be a stockbroker now.
Yeah. All right. So I'm stopping the sharing.
Do you have questions? Is there anything you want to know? Put your questions in the comments like we had mentioned, and we will do our best to get back to you and answer those questions. And we do readings as well. You can hit us up at the sleeplessastrologer@gmail.com. And we will be right with you and talk about your needs and such. We're here to help.
Make sure to subscribe, and we'll be doing these forecasts for all the different signs and a lot of different astrology subjects coming up. So if you're curious or interested in learning more, please subscribe.
And come visit us the third Saturday of every month, where we live stream and take your questions live.
Okay.
Okay.
Stop.
Thanks so much, you guys. Thanks for watching.